Hey, everybody. I am excited beyond measure to present my friend who actually is an Oakland High graduate. Just kidding. I'm Skyline. Uh, and
The highest art
hold on a second.
is
Make
beautiful,
sure
breathtaking.
that commercial doesn't come on. So, at any rate, if you're actually going to see a play called Shinjao, that was what that music was from.
Oh, okay.
I highly recommend you see it, even though I haven't. At any rate, yeah. But at any rate, Brenda Grisham is my guest. She is Judge Brenda Grisham. I always.
Oh no, I'm not Judge. You talking about Brenda Harbin-Forte?
Right. You're okay. Let me
I'm
straighten
Brenda
that.
Grisham. I'm the Pamela Price recall. She's the Shangtown recall.
Okay. Let me. You know what? Let me. Brenda Grisham. Hold on a second. Brenda. I'm glad you made that distinction because. Got it.
I'm the primary officer of SAFE.
Primary officer. I'm gonna put it like that in there. Primary, excuse me, officer of SAFE.
Yes.
And DA Pamela Price recall leader. Got it. Okay. Yeah. So I got that. Corrected the title and corrected that here. And I'm glad we got that out of the way. And I'm going to put out a new tweet and correct that too. Okay. It's the beauty of digital media.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Let me go back and all right. Let me go back and edit the actual YouTube. Hold on a second. Let's get this here. Edit that. Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm making some mid-course corrections. Right here. There. Okay. Got it. Okay. And then that. So now the YouTube that's up is corrected. And I'm about to tweet this out right now. Retweet it out. Okay. That. And then go back here. Looks beautiful. Okay. Now let's take this.
You're doing a lot of work over there.
Well, what I'm doing is I have to, you see, the beauty of this is that it gets content out early and it marks it.
Okay.
But it also allows you to make corrections on the fly, which is what I'm doing. Okay. So that anybody who wants to retweet this, share it again, is, they know that they are bless you, taking care of the content in the proper way. So I'm going to put this up here, and then also I'm going to take out the tweet that I put down up there because it has the wrong title. Okay. So there's that. Hashtag Oakland. All right. Then let me go get the other ones here real quick. And let's see here. Get this. Wait a second. That's the wrong one. This is the right one. Let me see if I can. Oh, I know. I'll do this. Repost. Whoops. Undo repost. Yeah. Got the right title above that one because there's a Twitter version. It's a lot of content, so it's going to be seen a lot. All right. So yeah, and okay. So and I'm going to delete. There's a number of these. Let me see. We delete that one, and then go back and put this one up here. And post like that. Oh, it corrected itself. Good. The new YouTube system is beautiful. All right. Got it. Okay, so we have that out of the way. There and there, and okay. And then I'm going to close this and then go back here. All right, cool. Now we've got all that straightened out. And as I was saying about my friend who's from Oakland High, as opposed to Skyline, Miss Grisham has been through a lot. To say it, and I want everybody to hear her story. And please.
December 31st, 2010, my 17-year-old son, Christopher Lavelle Jones, was murdered in Oakland, California. That is what started my path to get me here today. We were on our way to church, and two rival gangs decided they want to ensue a gun battle. My oldest daughter was shot first, and Christopher had put my granddaughter in the car, and she was 5 months old, which was my daughter's baby. I never saw him put the baby in the car. So when I told him to run, I didn't understand why he turned around to go back to the car. He turned around to go back to the car. He just said, "Mom," and he turned around to go back to the car, and he never made it back to the car. He was shot in the head. He was shot in the face. I, as being the mom, with the bullets flying, I tried to push him to the ground, but he had already got hit. So my little 5'2" self trying to push almost 6 foot young man to the ground, it was just one of those things. So he passed away on the porch. And so that started my life. Christopher was well known in the city of Oakland. He was a musician. I am a minister of music at my church. I'm a choir director. We have 6 choirs. Christopher was a drummer. He played any musician at any instrument he could touch, he could play it. He didn't take a lesson. They had a mural of him at Casamont on one of the buildings. They did a mural of him after he passed away. There are 2 statues of him. There's one at Lake Merritt, a memorial statue of him, life size, with the names of all of the children under 17 that were murdered in Oakland. And then there is one also in Hayward with the children. It's the same one, but it's smaller. And so after that began my path to, advocating for other families. After I went through the system and they weren't they weren't charged with Christopher's murder for various reasons. Sometimes you can understand and sometimes you can't. But I understood. I talked to the DA's office and they told me exactly what needed to be done and just what they didn't have. So my path was to get other people to understand how the system works and what we need to make it better and what we need to, make sure that these families are okay. So over the years, I've been working with the police department. I worked with the mayors in Oakland. I worked with the DA's office. I worked with Nancy O'Malley for years, where we were trying to bridge the gap between the DA's office and the families. And, there never is going to be a perfect administration, but we have to, go forward to make it better. So I am the executive director of the Christopher Lavelle Jones Foundation after Christopher. I'm the executive director of Their Lives Matter, which is a lobbying organization. And both of those organizations are all mothers that have lost their children in Oakland. And so we just came back from Washington, D.C. With the Newtown Foundation. We go to Capitol Hill and we speak to senators and, congressional council people. And I met with Robin Kelly from Chicago. And she does a piece called The Kelly Report. Her last report was in 2014. And so I got an email where she asked me to give input on her 2024 Kelly Report. I'm also I'm the chair of the Gun Violence Subcommittee for the Violence Prevention Coalition. I am on the executive board of the Violence Prevention Coalition. I am a member of the Family Support Advocate Group, which is all mothers that have lost their children. And I am a speaker for Ceasefire, the program Ceasefire, where when we have the call-ins, I go in and speak to the young men and women to keep them out of jail. You know, we try to talk them into going into programs. We don't want to see our Black and brown boys and girls in jail for the rest of their life. So that's my portion, you know, to keeping them out. And then I have the portion that's an advocate. And that's how my path to recalling Pamela Price came into play.
What was the aha moment where you said, I have to do this? I have to launch this effort to have a new DA. And I have to say something just as a matter of course, a matter of I don't know if it's full disclosure, but I'll just say this. I have not met Pamela Price, but as I explained before, there were a couple of instances where, and to this day, I can't put my finger on why. She was always acted weird toward me. And I hesitate to say it because I still can't process the logic behind it. There was nothing. I don't know if you remember Celeste Squat.
Yes.
Well, I interviewed her.
Oh.
She contacted
that might be it.
Well, she contacted me out of the blue. You know, in fairness, I did write her a note. I found her on Facebook. I wrote her a note. I said, hey, I'd like to interview you. Here's the ground rules and everything else that, I established, out of respect for the fact that she was young.
Right.
And the subject matter. And she very casually, to my surprise, said yes and gave me a 23-minute talk that I had to cry at the end. I contacted Pamela Price.
Okay.
She never got back to me. I had actually contacted her about an interview, a desire to interview her prior to that.
Okay.
And then we had a fast forward a few years, there was a press conference regarding the African American Sports Entertainment Group. And I had a very casual idea much later in the thing about Howard Terminal. And I heard someone yelling at me. And it was her. And I couldn't figure out what the yelling was about.
Really?
It was just, he's got, and I'm thinking, blah, blah, blah. And the rest of it, because of the sound, the garble was, it was unintelligible. I don't mean that as an offense. I just mean it was. I couldn't make sense of what she was saying. Except she was angry. And I keep thinking, what is it with this vitriol that I bring off? And I thought, wait a minute, if someone dislikes me that much, I better take a look at what's going on. And then I found that she has a divisive tick, if you will, regarding people who look like us. And I don't get that. And I'm just saying that. I'm just laying my cards on the table in terms of where I'm coming from about this whole thing. And it turns out a lot of other people have been punctured by that, if you will. She likes to pick fights with us, and I don't get that. I just don't.
Well, I don't have time to fight with nobody. I mean, my work is my work. I stand on the work that I've done. I met her when a parent, a mother in our group asked me to reach out to her when she got elected. Because when she was running for office, she met with our group a few times at a few different town halls. And so after we saw her on TV with the cases and the things that she were doing, it was like, okay, Brenda, can you reach out to her? Because, we're working in the community. We need to kind of really see what the focus is. Righting the wrongs of the African American community is okay. But you got to right the wrongs with the people that actually been wronged. It's people that's been in jail 25, 30 years, selling an ounce of weed is legal. Let them go home. It's people in there for 3 strikes. Okay. They served 25, 30 years, 3 strikes. Let them go home. They can be beneficial to whatever you're trying to do. They've been there. They've done that. So you get these beneficial people that actually have been harmed by the system. You need to let them go. That's how you help the African-American, Black and brown, or whoever you're trying to help. So she didn't respond. I emailed her. She didn't respond. And then I saw her at a few events. And then a lot of cases start popping up. So the media knows that I'm an advocate. So they reached out to me about families that were coming to them and coming to me about what was going on with the DA's department. And so I had an interview with Dan Noyes, and I never say anything I can't repeat. So anything I ever say, I'm able to repeat what I said. And the question was, we've heard talks of recall. If they were to recall, if the families wanted her recall, what would happen? I said, I stand firmly with the families. If that's what they need done, I'm there. I didn't say I was starting a recall. I didn't say any of that. And like I said, I mean, I could stand on anything I say. And that's what I meant. Whichever way they were going, that's the way I was going. So she contacted me one day out the blue. She emailed me. And I responded to her because she claimed that she had just read my email and she had just got my voicemail because I left her a voicemail as well. Well, she was at an event every week, so I know she reads her email. I know she answers her phone because she was everywhere. And so we had the email exchange about her meeting with the families. And, you got to be kind of careful with emails because they're emails. And I could print them out and I keep them. So you could say one thing and I could say something else. So we got to the point where I wanted her to meet with the families. I said I could get their case numbers, their cases, if you want to speak with them about their cases. And then I didn't hear from her for a couple of days. And so she emailed and she said she heard that I'm actively advocating for her removal from her position as district attorney. And so I went back and I responded to her. I said, well, first of all, my personal feelings have nothing to do with these mothers. How I personally feel, me and you can sit down and we can talk about it. I can come to your office. We can go have coffee. This all via email. Okay? So when we started the email chain, I'm going to go back to that. She had 2 people. Then the next time she emailed me, she had 3 people. Then the next time she emailed me, she had like half her staff. You know what I mean? So I had did the interview with Dan Noyes the week before. So she went on to tell me that she wasn't going to meet with me. She wasn't going to meet, I could meet with her staff when the recall started. Now, I done told you, I don't know what you're talking about. Made it very clear. And so I had to go back and said, well, let me reintroduce myself. And I ran down my resume and I was like, again, these mothers have nothing to do with this. That's a whole different reason that you need to meet with these mothers because you met with us before this happened. And so she just flat out said she wasn't going to do it, which is okay. You don't have to meet with anybody. So then the next day I got an email from her staff, Cynthia Chandler, who is her policy director or something like that, and Sylvia Molina, who is over the victims of crime unit. And so they want to set up a meeting, want to do a Zoom. I was like, oh, okay. But I didn't ask to meet with you guys. I asked to meet with her, but I'll meet with you. So we had a meeting. We kind of, talked about some things as far as on a victim standpoint. They kind of threw me off when they were calling her Madame. That kind of threw me. And then the way they reference victims, people that have suffered harm, lady, somebody murdered my son. That suffered harm. What's that all about? So the next day I started getting emails and calls from people talking about, well, can I talk to you? It's not a good look for 2 powerful women to be going back and forth. And I don't know what you're talking about. So apparently she had been sending emails about me. And so I emailed her. I sent her an email. I said, that's unprofessional behavior. As I said before, you can call me. We could go and meet. I could come to your office, but please don't spread untruth things about me. This is via email. Right. So I had somebody call me because she told them that I sent her email and they called me out the blue. That's my problem. What are you calling me for? I sent an email to her. I CC'd everybody, but how come she couldn't call me? So then, everybody wanted to get involved and want to set up a meeting with me and her. I never said I would never meet with her. Okay, you set it up, I'm there. And then this very different person got involved after somebody else said they was going to set it up. And I was like, okay, how did she get involved? Because a third person called me and said, okay, well, I think you got to win. What are you talking about? She said she's not going to meet with me. Oh, well, they called us and said they want to set up a meeting. I said, okay, I don't have to come. And so the mother said, if you don't come, we're not coming. So the meeting was set. So I called the lady to find out how she got involved. And she told me she was working with Pamela Price, whatever. I said, okay, but she said she don't want to meet with us. She said, oh, she's not going to meet with you. I said, what do you mean? She said, oh, she's not going to meet with you. I said, well, why? She said, because she said that you went on TV and bashed her. I said, well, if she thought that was bashing, she has a low level of bashing. I didn't say nothing about her. I don't know her. My mama taught me better than that. I don't bash anybody that I don't know. Her policies I had a problem with. And I told her that personally. Because in the email, she said, thank you for clarifying your position, but she still declined to meet with me. So I thought we were fine. I thought we was cool. We got to understand it. You over there, I'm over here. And so they set up the meeting. I come to the meeting. The mothers are there. People from homicide, violence interrupters, 3 people from her staff, Miss Molina and Miss Chandler were there as well. She showed up 45 minutes late to the meeting. So you have these mamas sitting here waiting on you for 45 minutes.
Ooh.
She never addressed any of them with, I'm sorry for your loss. My department is, our goal is to anything. She sat at the end of the table and we were to ask her questions and she would write them all down and she would answer them at the same time. My question to her was, there are gangs in Oakland. There's the offended and the offended. The offender and the offended. If you keep letting the offenders out, what you think the offended are going to do? So she never answered my question. She never answered anybody's question. When she started talking about Nancy O'Malley. You got to know your audience. So here's the funny thing. All of these mothers have met with Nancy O'Malley before. So for you to come in and talk about Nancy O'Malley, the people that met with Nancy O'Malley, that had a problem with Nancy O'Malley at one time, but she took the time to meet with these mothers, you're looking kind of silly right now.
What was she saying about the former DA O'Malley?
Oh, she was talking about how the department was in such a disarray when she got there and she didn't do this, that, and the third, and it was understaffed and all some stuff that, it was just talk. Yeah. So I got up and I went to the bathroom, and then when I came back and sat down, somebody said, I think we need to address the elephant in the room. So I'm looking around for the elephant because she was one person away from me. It was one person sitting next to us. And then it was me. And so she looked at me and she said, there are people in the room opposing me. There are people that are opposing my position as the elected DA of Alameda County. About a recall, there won't be one. I'm not going no damn where, is what came out of her mouth in front of, it was about 13 people in the room. Let's go back.
You gotta be kidding me. Wow.
We were in a church. We were in the True Vine Missionary Baptist Church. So I leaned in because the young man next to me scooted over because I guess he thought I was going to jump up or something. I don't know what he thought. And so I just leaned in and I looked at her and said, are you talking to me? Just like that. Are you talking to me? And she said, like I said, I'm not going no damn where. The people elected me and I'm not going no damn where. So she slams her computer down. She hops up and then she walks by another mother. And the mother asked her, she said, well, I need to ask you questions about my son's case. She said, I'm sick of this shit. She said, I can't bring any of your kids back. I don't know nothing about your son's case. And she walked out the door.
Say that again, please.
You heard what I said?
Yeah, I just want to hear it again.
Oh, I'm sick of this shit. I can't bring none of your kids back.
Unbelievable. Excuse my language, effing believable.
No, that's what she did. That's what happened. And then your own staff is witnesses. Your own staff is sitting right there. People are scrambling. Her people are scrambling. Oh, Miss Grisham, can you, can you give us a minute? Can you give me a minute? Maybe I'm gonna go talk to her and we could set up another meeting. I said, absolutely not. You need to give me a minute. Don't talk to me about meeting with her right now. Because I gotta process all of this. Maybe she's gonna come back and apologize. You know what I mean? So yeah. They were like, well, we'll set up another meeting, follow up. Okay, that was last year in April. There ain't no follow up. There came no follow up. People have bad days. I'm trying to give her a little grace. I got calls, If I can set up a meeting, would you meet with her? I said, I don't have no problem with that. Never, she can never say that I ever denied meeting with her until she started doing too much. Now, we're adults. We're talking about the safety of other people. We were talking about the safety of a whole community, and then stuff started happening. Families start calling me, and I start going, because I go to the courts with the families. So I don't want secondhand information. I want to sit and watch a judge tell you that I can't give this man probation because of what the DA has on this piece of paper. But this young man had killed somebody's son 2.5 years ago. Guess where he is? Walking out on the street with the rest of us. Do you think her family got a call? She still to this day will not meet with those people. That family. She released that boy. He spent 2.5 years in Santa Rita, and he is walking around, no probation, no ankle monitor, no nothing. Like it was okay. I was there at the formal sentencing. I was sitting right there when the judge told the mama, oh, I can't even give him probation. I can't give him anything. I mean, where are we doing this at? But then her focus is not to be humble. She'll sit in front of families and act like they're not sitting there and just talk about criminals like they're victims. That's her words.
Emotionally abusive to the people who've been abused already.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, I don't say nothing I can't repeat. I've said this numerous times. You can Google me. I've had many interviews. You can't. That's horrible to re-traumatize people that have already been traumatized. People that have thought that one of my personal parents, she just dropped the murder charges in her son's murder case, which is very interesting because that young man killed 3 people. This is not the Longwood case. This is a whole different case. That young man killed 3 people. He was charged with 3 murders under Nancy O'Malley. He was sentenced in 1 murder. He was serving time for 1 murder. And then however they came up with the evidence, they found out he killed the other 2 people who were killed at the same place at the same time with the same gun. Nancy O'Malley charged him with those 2 murders. All of a sudden, there's a plea deal. So the first plea deal was to reduce his sentence. He was going to plead no contest. His sentence was reduced to 21 years. They were going to run the 2 murders concurrent to the first one, and he would get no additional time. That was the first one. Miss McCrary started talking to the media about her son's case. She gets a call one day. Oh, we've decided to drop the murder charges on your son. But they charged they ended up pleading him down to no contest. He got charged with Craig's murder. He didn't get any additional time, and they dropped the charges in Miss McCrary's son's murder. But they was killed at the same place at the same time with the same gun. If you charge him with one, why can't you charge him with the other one? And it just continues. It goes on and on. You know, the stories come. I deal with many, many parents. I go, to court as much as I can. Suffered harassment from her people. I had a town hall and I was being nice and I let her people come in. And they got to hollering and screaming at me and telling me to shut my mouth and wasn't talking to nobody else but me.
That was that town hall in East Oakland, right?
In Emeryville.
Emeryville. Okay, that was another one. Okay.
Yeah, the one in Emeryville. That's the one we gave to give updates to the community.
Right.
And I allowed her people protect the wind or decline to sign, whoever they are. I allowed them to come in. They're very rude. I mean, it was recorded, telling me to shut my mouth. I'm a liar. I'm vindictive. And one man said, that it's a fight between 2 Black women. That was his remarks. It's a fight between 2 Black women. First of all, when did you figure out I was Black? Because she's never said my name and she never said I was Black. She said it was a racist recall. And we were insurgents from January 6th. We were Republicans. I'm not a Republican. I've never been a Republican, but public safety, it shouldn't matter what your political demographic is.
Ms. Grisham, can I ask you real quick? What is this thing where people who support Price or claim to, and people who support Mayor Tower claim to, all of a sudden want to paint someone like yourself or me as right wing?
I don't know. I mean, that's just very. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the words that are coming out.
It's very Donald Trump.
Yeah, right.
The other, right? You have to have the other.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. So I'm a right wing insurgent, and I've taken a page out of the January 6th insurgent, and all of this, or whatever day it was. All of that. I've endured all of that. I've endured them trying to smear my name. Well, you got to be kind of careful if you're trying to smear somebody's name. You got to have some truthful things going on. You know what I mean? Just harassment, and I'm just doing something that somebody else should really be doing. I feel that there are officials, there are pastors that should be standing up for these families. They got me out here all by myself with these mamas and daddies, and I have a problem with that. But I mean, what can I do? They're depending on me to make it better, to see what's going on with them. So that's what I'm entrusted to do. But then when you get to trying to intimidate me, that's a problem.
I would be shocked if, I'll just ask, Bishop Bob Jackson's helping you out, right?
No.
What?
No.
Bishop, what the heck is going on? I just had him on my program the other day talking about folks like yourself losing their kids to gunfire, and with respect to the mayor. But then, oh, wow.
It is what it is.
Have you talked with him? What?
I know him.
What has he said? I mean, if you don't mind my asking.
He's never reached out to me at all.
Continue, please.
Oh
my Lord.
So at the beginning of the recall, she sent a letter to my home.
Action. I want you to please take care of her and her plight. If you can do that for other people and women in East Oakland and come on my show and say that's what you're doing, there's no reason you can't help Miss Grisham. I just want to get that out there. Okay.
When the recall first started, and to this day, she's never said my name. She's never said that I'm involved. She won't admit that it's an African-American woman. But by now, everybody knows who I am. Everybody knows I'm the primary officer for SAFE. I'm not I've been called a figurehead. Anybody that knows me know that nobody tells me what to do. I own my own businesses, and the violence that is going on in Oakland, I've been here all my life. Violence is going to be violence, but what's going on now is just not, it's totally different. And, they try to make it normalized. Well, we've always had crime. You ain't had none of this that's going on here. You ain't had no crime like this. I grew up in a village. I ain't never seen nothing like this in my life. I grew up in a village. That's where I was born and raised, in the village. And we've seen people have got murdered in front of my office. People have been mugged, bullet gun shots going through the cafe, things of that nature. So where my businesses are centered is a very violent area. Most of the businesses there are Asian, and we're like family. They take care of me, I take care of them, and that's the way it's supposed to be. We should both be able to work together. It doesn't matter what our nationality is. And I think that's another problem. At the beginning, a lot of people said we couldn't work together. I've met so many people. I go out with our volunteers because I appreciate what they're doing. They're out there on the weekends getting signatures. So I pop up on them and they're like, oh my God, Brenda Grisham, you're here. And I let them know I appreciate everything that you're doing. I'm out there just like everybody else. I'm out there. I talk to the people that don't agree with the recall and those that do. I'm not trying to sway anybody. Public safety is just public safety for the Green Party, the Yellow Party, the Independent Party, the Republican Party, and the Democrats. It's public safety is what it is. And it's at a level now where, something just has to be done. And, everybody says, well, she ain't been in there long enough. Well, when you have this magnitude of disregard for victims, disregard for life, and feel that you have no part in it, that's when from the onset, it's going to be a problem. 5 years, we never make it. That's a 5-year term.
Let's get to this matter of that's stalking.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
mean,
that's my office. That's my office building.
I look at this image, Brenda, and it scares the crap out of me.
All of those young men right there have
This is what's
guns.
into, you know.
They all got guns.
Tell the picture for our viewers. What
That is a picture of her in the parking lot of where my businesses are located.
This is placed on. I have to say this is placed on the Twitter account of young lady Mikasha. I don't know if you want your full name split out there, so I'm not going to bother. But this is how I originally saw it on her Twitter account. And
she came to my press conference today. I've known her for years. I had a press conference today.
Yeah, great person. And so I just immediately posted it, and then I called you. I got your number from Lim Raphael because I didn't have it before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you look at that picture. How would you feel?
What vibes do you get from that picture? Angry, like, hey, first of all, okay, I would feel like, to answer your question, angry. Mm-hmm. Looking at someone who is using something that's not far from tactics used by the most authoritarian dictators in our history. Mm-hmm. I mean, seriously, okay? That's the comparison I have.
So I have the full footage from her coming down the street, coming into my office. So my first thing was, okay, what kind of reason is she going to have for coming there? They didn't go to any businesses in the complex. They didn't talk to anybody that was sitting outside. They walked by my businesses. I have 4 businesses. Walked by 2 of my businesses, went upstairs. She spoke with the manager, and she let the manager know that she knows that I have 4 businesses there. When she left, she didn't come back down the way she came. She went past 2 of my offices and went down and stood in front of my other 2 offices and looked around. And then she left. What you come there for? And those young men, and I posted pictures of their guns, because you can clearly see their guns. They had them where you can clearly see that they were carrying guns.
Like the Old West or something.
Huh?
Like they watched, Unforgiven or some old West movie one too many times.
What if I would have been there? Would she have come to my office to talk to me? She got my phone number and she has my email address. You just don't show up at my personal place of business. There's no reason why she would be there. I have all the footage. You didn't come to talk to nobody. I got a call at 4 or 5 o'clock this morning because I was tired from being at Dublin court yesterday with families and I needed some rest. I got a call at 5 o'clock in the morning. You need to get the footage. She came to the business. You need to get the footage. And that's exactly what I did. You can't excuse that. I have children. I told my daughter, you better not come to work today. I have a pregnant daughter. I have 2 daughters. I have 2.5 grandkids. Now you messing with a mama bear. I'm going to protect my children because now I feel that was a silent threat.
Silent?
Well, not silent. That's a little, really wasn't silent. It was kind of out there. She can't explain her way out of it. There's nothing she could say. She can't say nothing. She was handing out nothing. She was talking to anybody. She didn't talk to anybody that owned any of the businesses in the building. There were patrons outside, sitting outside the cafe. They didn't talk to anybody.
What was she going to accomplish had you been there?
That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. You got your little henchmen out there with their guns hanging out. What if we would have gotten into an argument? What, they would have shot me? What's going on here? I don't understand.
Was she going to arrest
you? They clearly had all of their guns in view where they can be seen because I took pictures of them.
Brenda, were they going to try to arrest you for something you didn't do?
Arrest me for what?
That's precisely my point. But it's the horror.
Come on now.
Doing this, what do they expect to accomplish by being there?
I don't know.
And this has got to be against the law. It's got to be, there's some legislation out there they have to have violated because, you're working on a recall campaign, among other things, against her, and yet she's going to do this to you.
Yeah, she could have called me and said, Brenda, I'm gonna come by. Can we talk or something like? If she wanted to talk, apparently she didn't want to talk. She had reason. She had a way to get in touch with me.
Let me refresh this, by the way, because the video's buffering here.
Okay.
See if I can get it back to. There's the video. Not sure why it's buffering, but at any rate, yeah, if you actually have the copy of this, I'm happy to run it. Yeah, cool. Yeah. I'll get it from you. Okay. And then I'll go back to the other here. And Keisha wrote on her Twitter account, breaking news, intimidation tactics. That's what got me. Okay. District Attorney Pamela Price of Alameda County was caught on surveillance with her armed entourage in tow on the personal business property of Brenda Grisham, the primary officer of Safe Alameda for Everyone, which is the organization recalling Pamela Price. What is going on in the Alameda County District Attorney's office? Video footage, and she says they're linked below. I mean, I couldn't.
So you see the picture up at the top?
This one.
Yeah. You click on that one. Okay. Yes. That's how she came up in there.
Okay, Corral.
Absolutely.
Gunfight at the OK Corral.
Oh, okay.
Do you know Clint Eastwood by chance? I mean,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Who does that?
Apparently, she does.
Well, her first incident was when we filed the letter of intent, and she had to respond. So Carl Chan got a copy, and his was sent by FedEx. So my daughter got home before me, and she called me. She said, "Mama, you got some mail from Pamela Price." I said, "What?" So I had an envelope that was handwritten, sent to my home with the same letter. Now, in the instructions, you only have to send it to one primary officer. She didn't need to send me anything. I felt that she wanted me to know that she knew where I was. Okay, I addressed that. And I specifically said, stay away from me. If I feel that my family is in jeopardy, that's a problem. It's not, a recall is a process that's law. You can meet us at the polls. You can't fight a recall. If we have the signatures, you can't fight it. Just have your people meet us at the polls when it gets on the ballot. All the people walking up on me and, grown men walking up on me, hollering and screaming at me. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I've taken about as much as I'm going to take for a recall, for public safety, and everybody else is standing on the sidelines. I didn't sign up for this, but what I'm not going to do is let these families down. I'm not going to do it. But when I feel that my personal children and grandchildren might possibly be in jeopardy, that's a little different. Every time I look at those pictures, I get pissed off.
It strains me to accept what I'm seeing is real. I mean,
that's real.
I know it is, but I'm saying it strains me to. Let's put this in its proper place. We have a sitting district attorney walking with members of her staff to your place of business as a citizen who is known by her staff to be working on her recall in the middle of the street. I mean, they're not showing like they care that any cars are coming by or anything. I don't know the layout.
No, they're in my office building. They're inside the gate.
They're inside the gate walking up.
Yes. Yeah, they're inside the gate.
Like they basically have gotten into your ranch.
They're in my personal space right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're walking to do whatever it is they believe they were going to do when you were at the door.
Yeah, if I would have been there. Because they walked by our office and saw that I wasn't there.
And if you were at the door and not opened the door, what would they have done?
I don't know.
That's scary.
Oh, that whole thing is scary. The whole thing is scary.
I mean, could you call 911 on them? Say, 911, I've got a deranged district attorney at my door for no reason. Can you please send help? Which, they should send somebody. Why can't the police arrest the DA?
I don't know. But who's going to charge her?
Well, but you know what? I'd love to at least set up that scenario because I can't even believe I'm saying that.
Yeah. So,
I'm sorry.
I've
shut up right now.
It's unfortunate that I have to have security. I have to pay for security out of my pocket. Security isn't, when I go anywhere, I have to have security. My friends are just scared. You know what I mean? I can say, oh, I'm okay. I sit in my office with the door locked. The plaza has installed additional security for me. And I'm grateful for that. I'm very grateful. My security, I mean, is bad. Today was horrible. I mean, I had to get extra security. I got to get security for my daughters. I've closed down 2 of my businesses because of the crime in that area. And I still have 4. I worked hard for what I have. I've advocated for 12 years, going on 13 years. I'm not doing anything different now than I've been doing for the last 12 years. Standing up, being a help to the people that need me. I can't speak for everybody, but those that want my help, I do my best. I go to court 2 or 3 times a week. 2 families in the same courthouse. 3:00 in the morning, mothers inboxing me. Things of that nature. That's what that's what being Christopher's mom is all about. Christopher was a giver. Now I'm a different kind of person now because I'm being Christopher's mama right now. But Brenda Grisham, she could be a little different person. So I have to be humble in the work that I'm doing because I'm bringing together communities. I'm bringing together all people from all walks of life. Then I'm just grateful that my son has instilled in me. I'm taking values from my son in order to make Alameda County a safer place because I could be at home like everybody else. And I just chose not to.
What was your son like?
Oh, my son was great. He was a great little boy. He wasn't little. He's really, really tall. Just a happy person. I mean, everybody loved him. When he passed away, Castlemont shut down and they all came to the funeral. They chartered buses and all of the students was at the funeral. His teachers, I just love all of them. They were just wonderful people. And I had grown to love them dealing with Christopher because Christopher had a learning disability. So I had to check them people early on. I had to check them. And, we grew to have relationships. And everybody in Castlemont knew Christopher. He was just one of those kids. He would come in, he'd hug everybody. He played basketball. He played anything that he touched, he was great at. And that was just something that he had. Wasn't nothing that I made. That was just him. That was just Christopher.
Who was his favorite basketball player? I
don't even know. I don't remember. I don't know. His favorite movie was Independence Day. I tell you. Oh, Independence Day came on. Y'all be quiet. He's sitting right there. It's a great kid. Great kid. It touched a lot of people's lives when he passed away. It is what it is.
One of my favorites too.
Yeah. So
I know it word for word. You go along real well with your boy.
Oh yeah, he loved that movie. So,
oh my god, that hurts. Oh.
So now we're here.
How is the recall campaign going?
It's excellent. It's going very well. Yeah. Yeah.
What are the next steps? How can those watching get involved?
If they haven't signed the recall petition, our website, recallpamelaprice.org. We have locations where volunteers, these are people that are not getting paid. They're out there for free, taking signatures. You can donate because it is costly. And just even if you don't agree, just do some research. I just ask everybody, just research what's going on. We not trying to corner the block. We just trying to save lives here. And, any help that we can get is fine. We still have guidelines through the ROV that we have to account for.
I have to say that anyone who would take the kind of action that the district attorney Price took in visiting you in this very threatening way should not, and I'd say this even for a friend of mine who did this sort of thing, who held office, and there's a number of them who do, they should not be allowed to hold office. Because this sets a bad look regarding the direction government should take in terms of taking care of people.
Right.
This isn't about taking care of you. This is strictly about intimidating you. And I'm wondering if the DA knew that her image would be picked up on a camera and therefore they walked out there the way that they did.
I doubt if she knew that we had that many cameras. Doubt it. She probably didn't even think they had cameras, because there's no way you can do that and know that there are cameras there.
Mm-hmm.
So the cameras caught her coming down the street.
So regardless of how you look at it, I mean, it's either she knew and it was what she did was despicable.
Everybody knows where my son's foundation is.
Or she didn't know there were cameras, and that in of itself is despicable. You can't look at this in any way and come out with something that makes sense. But you look at it anyway and come out with something that looks just simply purely evil.
And that's unfortunate. It shouldn't come to that. I mean, she could have resigned a long time ago and saved us the effort. But it's understandable. This is her livelihood, but you don't stoop to those levels as a elected official. As she continues to say, I'm elected. I'm the first not anointed, appointed, or however her spiel is. And to stoop to that level is just shows what type of official she really is.
What are the deadlines coming up regarding the effort to?
Well, we actually don't need to have the petitions until March 5th.
Okay.
Anybody with good sense would not wait that long, and we don't plan on it. Unfortunately, at this point in time, we're not disclosing anything. I don't feel safe about anything right now.
Yeah, especially after this, huh?
Oh, no. So, it was leaked a while ago how many signatures we had. So if you knew how many we had then, and you see we have people out now, we have more than that. That's all I'm gonna say. We got more than that. We are striving.
May not know that number. Heard it. What is that number right now?
Well, nobody knows the number right now. But about a month and a half ago, or whatever it was, we actually had sent out an email to our volunteers, and somebody thought it was public knowledge how many signatures we had gathered in 5 weeks. We had gathered 75,000 signatures in 5 weeks. That's public knowledge. So I'm not telling a secret. So the first 5 weeks we had 75,000 signatures. So we've been getting signatures since then. We have a goal that we are going for. We are, there are guidelines. We have a certain amount of days. They have 10 days to count and record the signatures. And then the Board of Supervisors has 45 days after that in order to schedule election. So we have the primaries coming up. That's not a good time for a recall to be on the primary.
Yeah.
Because we need to educate the people ahead of time. We need whoever is planning on running for district attorney after her, who probably gonna be scared, to kind of get out before the public and they have a chance to find out what they're all about, because that's not our decision. That's going to be the decision of the people who they pick to replace Pamela Price when she gets recalled, because she's going to get recalled. That's not a question. She's going to get recalled. And this didn't help her at all.
You know, Ms. Grisham, if one didn't know about this before this, now they certainly will be, because, again, what the DA did is not something any elected official should do for any reason at any time in public office. Take taxpayer dollars and use them to intimidate, because that's what she was trying to do.
Of course.
Intimidate a person who is part of an effort to recall her. This, in and of itself, should be a crime. If it's not, the California legislature should install a specific law to make sure that it is.
Mm-hmm. So here we are.
Keep us consistently informed, please.
Oh, I will. Yeah. My first concern is my children. So, I have to work on securing my kids and go from there. I'm grown, I'm grown. I'm gonna have to do what I have to do. When you step into something, you never know the magnitude of what it becomes. Never imagine it would be here. Never imagine I would be fearing for any member of my family, any of my friends. If something would have happened, anybody in that plaza could have been, a part of it. Yeah. And that's unfair to the people that I work with. But they got my back. I never doubt that they don't have my back. They tell me all the time, why are you sitting here with your door locked? Let's that, the third. It is what it is. But when it comes to my children, then we have a problem. And right now, I don't feel that my children are safe. And I said that out of my mouth. I don't believe that my children are safe. And that's a problem for me as a mother.
Bleacher Dave says, "Would I miss?" Well, Bleacher, you're about 57 minutes and 14 seconds too late. But the magic of technology, you'll be able to watch the rest of it. Mm-hmm. And it's live, and it also is video on demand.
Okay.
But Dave, get behind protecting this young lady, okay? Even though, you're only 31. Come on.
Who, me? No, I'm about to be 58. I don't have no problem with telling my age. My birthday's coming up. I'll be 58.
See, I'm 61. We have that generation that it's kind of hard. Exactly. Kind of hard to figure out where we fit,
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Please take care of yourself, all right?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to do my best.
Yeah, this is not a good look for Oakland politics and East Bay politics. Just not
at all.
I can't remember anything like this, even similarly going on during my time in Oakland politics.
Mm-hmm.
That goes back to, wow. Well, even as a little boy, when I was helping my mom and others get Lionel Wilson elected, I don't remember anything like this.
You had a lot going on, huh?
If you say so. But but this is about you. But I just, I haven't seen it. I'm hesitant to say stuff because I still, in my mind, can't believe anybody would do something so dastardly evil and at the same time stupid. That's what gets me.
Yeah, that was a very bad move. I don't know who the advisors are, but knowing where my businesses are, even to come in that vicinity to tape something on the wall would be deemed interesting, because I've been there for years. Through this whole process, you never came to my office for anything. You've been at the park, doing rallies or whatever. So Why yesterday?
Also, if anyone watching from DA Price's office, I welcome the DA to come on and explain her actions.
And just know I got the full footage.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine. Oh, anyway, enough of me.
You can't imagine how I felt when I saw that.
How
when
did
I
you?
looked at the footage, I was like, what the heck is going on here? I mean, just looking at the clips, they just send a chill down your spine.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate, that she chose to take that route. She can't talk her way out of it.
Nope.
There's no excuse.
Nope.
There's no reason.
Nope.
So we'll see.
And
She's gonna respond like she did last time. She's gonna respond.
How do you think she will respond?
I don't know. Now that she know that I have footage, she's gonna have to carefully respond. Because anything she says, I could prove it was not the truth.
She should resign now, just for that action alone. Now that cannot stand.
Yeah, that's just
That is an unnecessary show of force.
Yeah.
Against a woman who has already been violated yourself in a number of different ways, particularly emotionally, which leads to physically because it affects your physiology.
Right. Absolutely.
It's just, I hope to God we don't allow this stuff to just be in the norm. This should not be this should be regarded as an outlier. It should be regarded as something that is heinous, that represents the worst. It has nothing to do with better angels at all.
It has
nothing to do with the Lord. In fact, the Lord is looking on this right now and wondering what is wrong with her, and I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, well.
As they say, DA Price, God will get you for that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's looking. I've been honest about everything I've done.
I'm going to pray for her.
Somebody to her office, I don't have time for that.
I'm going to pray she gets the help she needs to not do that again. Because that's that kind of thought unleashed on people who don't have a lot. Mm-hmm. Seriously? Using the power of government.
Right.
Worse than, this is like, what this reminds me of? The Riders case. Mm-hmm. Oakland cops, like they're cowboys going through West Oakland, calling themselves Batman and so on. I mean, I challenge anyone to tell me how this looks different.
Oh, I need somebody to tell me how it looks different too. There's no positive way to look at that. None at all.
Not at all. No, I cannot believe government. I went to school to be in planning. Mm-hmm. I remember American Planning Association 1980 convention. The gentleman from the Port Authority in New York and New Jersey, the consummate public official, presented himself well, knew the answers, knew the rules, knew the law, and got it all out in a few minutes. That was it. And I said, I want to be like that guy.
And she's a civil rights attorney.
Right.
She didn't see nothing wrong with that?
Right. The people that, your kids, like I was a kid, should look up to, right?
Right.
I mean, this is worse than Chris Christie fixing the toll. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm just waiting to see what her response is going to be.
This is your time, by the way. Anything else you want to add? Because God bless you.
No,
yeah.
No, look, you already ate. I need to come. I need to eat and probably lay down. Yeah, I'm very tired. It's been a long day.
Yeah. Hey, well, don't go anywhere. Stick around stick around there, folks. I want to thank you for watching along with us. Hopeless. I know you got questions out there, but I wanted to give Miss Grisham the luxury of answering because Hopeless is from Las Vegas, and
Okay.
By the way, those who might wonder, little small cleanups. Dan Noyes, if you don't know who he is because you're out of towners, some of you, is longtime reporter I know who's from KGO ABC7 in San Francisco. And Bishop Bob Jackson is a longtime man of the cloth in Oakland. I'm trying to think of somebody else I mentioned I'm left out of. But at any rate, I wanted to get those two out of the way because their names came up among those. All right. And Celeste Guap, of course. Celeste Guap is a young lady who...
yeah, I met her before.
Oh, what'd you think of Miss Guap?
She was okay. She needed a little guidance. But she was generally she was okay. Yeah.
Yes, Celeste Guap, unfortunately, was treated inappropriately.
Right. Absolutely.
I
work in human trafficking as well. I forgot that. I have a human trafficking organization.
Oh.
So
tell us about your organization. Tell us about that.
It's called Royals. My godmother started it years ago. She retired from Kaiser, and she started Royals. I helped her start Royals because that's what I do as well. I help people start businesses, nonprofits, period. And so she had been working for years. And then when COVID hit, one of the organizations that she worked with told her that she had to get a COVID shot. She did not want to get vaccinated, and she passed away. So me being the God baby, me and my god sister took it over, and so I've been working with the young ladies out there on 17th and International because I've been there for 7 years. They've always been there, and so it's just a level of trying to get them to get off the street. And so I do that as well. So if you was to go to Christopher's website, then you can learn about my little boy, and some of the work that we do.
What's the website?
www.cojfoundation.com. CLJ.
I'm sorry, CLJ
Foundation.com.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, stick around in the background. Don't move a muscle. Everybody, thank you so very much. That ends this broadcast.